Did you automatically know that y'all had something special on your hand? This was gonna be a daily show. I'm with a guy I got instant chemistry with. I feel like we on to something big.
I don't think we knew that probably until we went to an hour. Because when we were on at first, we were only on for half an hour. And if I'm not mistaken, I would have to go back and look at the shows. I think you only saw Dre and I on camera twice. And the rest of it was voiceover. So we didn't know. We just thought, hey, listen, MTV got this thing going with your MTV Raps. It's the daily show. We knew Fab was being successful on the weekends, but we were just stuck in the studio. We didn't even have a lot of guests come through at that time. We were just showing the videos from like this little corner in the MTV studio. So we didn't know, man. We didn't know. I think when it got to become an hour and we were 5 days a week, and at some point we was twice a day, I think that's when we knew we was onto something special.
Do you know what made them turn it into an hour show?
It was successful. It was extremely successful from the rip. You know, from the time people turned that on, it was successful. It was something that hip hop was building and bubbling at that time and becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. It was just something that people, people that was into the music, and hip hop was starting to sell a lot of records. People that was into the music, well, before us, because you got to remember, Curtis Blow sold 1 million copies of the breaks. So there was a market for it. I just think everybody was afraid to tap that market. And once there was a way to look at videos on television without, big up to Ralph McDaniels and Video Music Box, they were before us. But for that MTV audience, the audience of suburban black and white kids were mostly white kids that didn't have access to hip hop videos. Once they got a taste of that, it was over with, bro.
Yeah, and definitely shout out to Ralph and Video Music Box because
Absolutely.
he's absolutely a pioneer and really introduced so many of the new artists
Yeah,
to
especially
so many of us.
for us on the Eastern Seaboard, yeah, that's what we watched before. Before the box. Every different city in this country had local shows. Some of them did, some of them didn't. That showed videos. But the thing with Yo MTV Raps is we touched places nobody else could touch. You know what I mean?
Wasn't Yo MTV Raps global
Yeah.
at the time? This wasn't just a national show.
No.
This was around a globe.
Yeah. Yeah. Sophie Bromwell is a young lady out of England. They had a show called Yo. And at one time, Peter was in charge of that show in England. When he came back to MTV in New York, Ted got at him and was like, yo, we need to do a hip hop show. And he was like, well, Sophie got a show where it's very eclectic. It wasn't just hip hop. It was dance. It was whatever it is. And it's just called Yo. And Ted was like, yo, MTV Raps. We were all rap. We weren't so much dance, anything else like that, unless, it was Queen Latifah or something like that would dance with me. But we were a hip hop show, a rap video show.
Got you. So for the first two and a half years of the show, were y'all under contract at this point?
No, not at all. No, we
So
didn't have a
you're
contract.
literally-
We were like employees, man. We didn't have a contract. That first look for us was MTV got $1,000 a week. You guys got to split it, and it was like, okay, extra $500 with my salary. I was a school security officer at Andrew Jackson High School in Queens. I kept that job, bro.
So hold on, let me make sure I'm understanding this. While you're hosting one of the most popular, iconic video shows in pop culture, you're still working as a school security guard?
Yeah, because I worked for the city of New York. I had no contract. There was no contract with MTV. So there was no guaranteed money. So MTV could come any day and go, okay, you know what, guys, that was great, but we're thinking about moving in a different direction, or we're going to replace you guys with somebody else, and then I'm out. So I'm like, look, I'm making a decent amount of money over here. I could keep doing this and get this $500 a week from MTV. That's what I'm going to do. And we only shot Yo MTV Raps in one day. So it wasn't like, it wasn't like a crazy day. I think I got off at 4:30 at the time, and we had to shoot MTV like sometimes at 3:30. So my group leader, what they call it, because it was like 19 of us security, she's like, "Ed, go ahead, I'll punch you out." You know what I mean? So don't worry about it. So she let me breeze. I breeze, go down to MTV, and we would shoot MTV Raps. We shot all 5 shows in one day because we never sat there and looked at the videos. We didn't see the videos. We didn't see the finished product till later. You know what I mean? So all it was, hey, this is the next video. Whatever you guys are doing, make sure you hit the video. And sometimes if you look at them, I would forget the video and ask, like, yo, what's the video? And somebody would yell it out, and then we would go to it. So the early days of MTV Raps, just them half-an-hour shows, it didn't take that long. Dre and I would change our clothes behind the set and then come out and, hey, welcome to MTV Raps. It's exercise day or whatever day we was doing, or it's food day in them early half an hour. Yo, we got this coming up. We got that coming up. But right now, as we get our exercise on, here's Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre with Nothing But a G thing on MTV Raps. And then that was it. And then you bang those out next day, bang those out next day, bang those out, and you're done.
Yeah, what was it like going back to school? I know for you, you're like, okay, I could go and I can knock this out in one day, but you're going back to high school.
I'm going back to
kids had to recognize you.
I'm going back to a high school on the side of Queens where not a lot of people had MTV. So it maybe 1 or 2 students caught it, like, yo, I just saw you on this rap joint. Yo, you doing that? I'm like, yeah, it's called MTV Raps. And it's like, yeah. And then slowly MTV started coming into the neighborhood. But once it got into the neighborhood, it was, man, I couldn't work there no more, man.
Yeah, they had to be out of control.
Yeah, it was out of control. It was at a point where it was time for me to leave it.
Gotcha. How'd y'all wind up getting your contract eventually? Like, what made them finally put y'all under contract?
We were asking for a contract for a while. Dre had a better relationship with Russell Simmons than I did. I knew Russell because I knew Russell was from around my way. And I knew Russell and I went to the same high school, but at different times. So Dre had been working with Run DMC, working with Beastie Boys, being their tour DJ. He understood that we needed to be a united front and we needed management. So we went with Rush Associated Management. It was Rush. Who we rolling with? We rolling with Rush. Everybody was with Rush. So we went with Rush. And Russell brought Lyor in and had Lyor go in and talk to MTV about a contract. And Lyor went in and did his magic and we got paid.
Do you remember what that first paycheck looked like?
I know we went from $500 a week to $250,000 a year.
Woo.
I know that. I know I made more money than my parents made together.